Tommy, it's about time we had a catch-up during this pre-season campaign. 4 wins out of 4. You can't really ask for much more than that, but are you starting to see things from the lads that you're wanting to see ahead of the season as well?
Yeah, I mean, the results are pleasant, but it's not the sole aim of the games at this stage of the season. Obviously, we've got a lot of new faces around the place, so we introduced a lot of new faces. Some lads obviously left the building, so it's a new group again. And the biggest thing for me is seeing partnerships develop. That's just not just the bloke next to you, but the bloke in your unit, and then how the units are mixing up. So I think so far we're really pleased with the way we're looking on the training ground and the way we looked on the pitch in the games that we have played. But they're just an extension of our training, really. The training's been really intense, but it's been very much football based. And there's nobody who's available to me at this moment in time who I wouldn't consider playing in the team, which I think I reiterated to them after the game at Eastbourne that was the first game of the 4 we've played since coming back, that we had a seamless 90 minutes. And that's really important, because whether they start or whether they finish the game, it's important that I know as their manager exactly what we're going to get out of them. And for one or two people who may think that they're comfortable in a position, they've got to keep looking over their shoulder, because at this moment in time, like I said, of the 20 or 21 lads that we've got available to play outfield, and we've certainly got a good array of choices to pick.
Well, we've seen a lot of different combinations in those areas and across the pitch. Is that mainly to do with minutes, or is that also just trying different combinations and seeing how they've gelled?
Yeah, I mean, the makeup of the squad is such that the lads who aren't training at the moment are intrinsically defenders. So I've got to look for options and methods and solutions, and that's my job as a manager. So if you see somebody playing in the back line who isn't what you'd call a normal, that's not their normal position, don't worry too much. I don't. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't put a team out on a pitch that I didn't think could A, win the game that they're playing, or B, benefit the football club. So, whether it's James Henry who's played in there, Keane Anderson's played in there, Theo's played in there, got no problem. But we've got a couple of lads that we're still looking at. We've got a couple of lads that we're still talking to. So maybe something will appear in the next couple of weeks that lands on your lap. I think at this stage of pre-season, you get what's called the third wave of players. The ones that we went after and achieved, that was during the pre-season or the close season. I'm really pleased with how they've integrated into the group. There's not, they're a good set of lads. We did our diligence on them, and they've fitted the way we thought they'd fit, and that's really, really pleasing for us as a staff and for the recruitment side of the club. I think that's been good again. But what we want to look at now is there'll be players who probably have pitched themselves maybe at the EFL or at the top end of the National League, and it hasn't happened for them. They'll be looking for a club very soon, and we've still got 1 or 2 places that we could fill. So you never know. There may be 1 or 2 more faces coming in, but if we had to start tomorrow, I'd be comfortable with the group that we've got.
When you're looking at the results we've had in pre-season so far, it's fair to say, with no disrespect to those teams, that the strength in the opposition has kind of got better as we've gone on. But we've almost sort of done better, especially looking just at the scoreline. We've got better scores, so that must be very pleasing for you.
Yeah, but like I said earlier to you, it's not irrelevant to score, because I don't want to lose games at any stage. I want to beat my daughter playing tiddlywinks when she was 5. So, them sort of things are, the competitive edge obviously comes more and more as the games do ramp up. Like you say, we started with a game we were expected to win comfortably, and we did. Then we went to Met Police, who gave us a little scare, but we ended up getting over the line. But I was more pleased with the first half performance at Met Police, going in 2-0 down, as daft as that sounds, because of the way we played the game. They scored 2 freaky goals. Fair play to them. But we managed to finish the game in the ascendancy and winning 3-2. But to go and win at Billericay and then again at Eastbourne, I think they're 2 teams that will be really, really competitive in their own divisions. And we've planned the pre-season with an upward curve. So, the thing is, we're getting better, we're getting fitter, we're getting stronger, we're getting to know each other better. So I expect our performances to carry on like that. And if we can, if there's a blip in the road in pre-season, I mean, the only disappointments we've had are the 1 or 2 injuries that you can't help. Some of them, whether it's contact or whether it's just a freak thing that's happened, and they'll always stick in a manager's craw, because you can't plan for them. You can only deal with it after it's happened. And that's been the case. So that's the frustrating thing. But I'm touching wood that we don't have any more, and we're looking after everybody who gets the slightest, tightness or niggle because their workload's being ramped up as we go along here. So, like I said, without repeating myself too much, we're really comfortable with where we are. I think the group are really gelled really well together, and we're looking forward. As, it's nice to look back at our last competitive game. Of course it is, because everybody remembers where that was and what it brought to the club. But really, we've got our eyes firmly on Altrincham now, and what comes after that. And the games in between will be treated as the forward we just played as just an extension of our training sessions.